In 1930, vampires infiltrated the city of Tokyo to satisfy their bloodthirsty needs. They started creating bloody parties. As the number of victims gradually increased, the city government hired Jaegers. They are special people tasked with hunting vampires around the world. To hide their identities, they always carry boxes of musical instruments. When Jaegers fight vampires, they become emotionless and very ruthless. Yuli is the strongest warrior of the Jaegers, the sole survivor of the Sirius race. His village was slaughtered by vampires because they were afraid of the power of the Sirius race. But what they don't know is that the Sirius tribe still has one survivor, Yuli, who holds the power to change the fate of the world. While Yuli is hunting a female vampire, he activates the power of the beast's blood. But Yuli doesn't expect that there is a sniper nearby. When Yuli is about to end the female vampire, he is shot down by that sniper. After waking up, he discovers that he is being treated by a doctor. Willard is the commander of the Jaegers, asking Yuli to stay in this house. Yuli will recuperate here until this wound heals. Philip will stay here to take care of Yuli. Some time passed. While they were having dinner at this moment, they were attacked by a group of vampires. Among the vampires, Yuli discovers a female vampire. It turns out to be the female vampire who has escaped earlier. The doctor is bitten by her, so he gradually transforms into a vampire. During the battle, Yuli is forced out into the courtyard. He can smell vampires, so he will chase them anywhere and destroy them at their root. At this point, the doctor loses control and attacks his daughter. That distracts Yuli, but he still dodges the female vampire's attacks and unleashes a powerful slash at her. Then he uses the broken spear blade to save Saki. While dying, the female vampire says something about Ark. Just as Yuli is thinking about the female vampire's words, an explosion occurs. He climbs to the roof to check on the situation and is attacked by another high-ranking vampire. This vampire seems to be very strong, but here's one thing that makes Yuli shocked because of this vampire. That is Yuli's brother. The story takes place 10 years ago, when Yuli was still a child. Vampires attacked the village of Dogville. Yuli's mother was injured and lost a lot of blood. "You have to live." Those were the last words of Yuli's mother. For thousands of years, vampires have always ruled the dark world, but they have always craved the power of the Sirius race, so they want to steal their treasure known as the Ark of Sirius. To protect Yuli, Yuli's brother Mikhail died. At that moment, Yuli met his brother again. He felt very happy even though Mikhail was a vampire now. Yuli once swore that he would destroy all vampires, and now he was hesitant as to whether he would kill his brother or not. Hyakoto is a group of mercenary ninjas and they are cooperating with vampires. However, because of their exaggerated actions, they become international criminals. Because of that, the vampires stop cooperating with them. That makes the ninjas angry and betray the vampires. Willard then says that Yuli will have to go on a business trip for a while. After hearing those words, Ryoko shows a bit of sadness because she is secretly in love with Yuli. Vampires are of two types, royal vampires and slave vampires. The slave vampires would disguise themselves as ordinary people to gather information. They are very afraid of sunlight. However, the royal vampires are different. In addition to stronger fighting ability, they can also move freely under sunlight. At the train station, Ryoko has escaped from the house and she is secretly following Yuli. While she is thinking about how to start a conversation with Yuli, suddenly, Yuli runs outside to change the train. Yuli can smell vampires. There's a high-ranking vampire on this train. Just as Yuli's comrade leaves, Yuli's brother appears. Vampires have a mandatory rule that when encountering Jaegers, they must immediately kill them. However, Mikhail could not do that to his younger brother. Before leaving, he advised Yuli to give up on revenge. Because Yuli didn't have enough determination and the vampires are very strong, at this moment, the train suddenly stops. Turns out, it is the ninjas who want to steal this train. At this point, the high-ranking vampire decides to leave. Then the ninjas go inside the train. They discover a shocking secret. A living weapon is being created by vampires. While the ninjas are fighting the police, the train explodes. Outside, the other Jaeger members also appear. Now that the train is completely out of control, they will split the stern of the train to rescue the innocent passengers. However, Ryoko persists in following Yuli because she wants to help him. Yuli runs to the front of the train, but he is stopped by the living weapon the vampire has created. With no other choice, he is forced to fight. At this time, the remaining Jaegers are helping the police evacuate the passengers. They also realize the vampires are present on this train. Yuli's battle is still going on. His opponent is starting to get mad and lose control. Just as Yuli is in danger, he hears a familiar voice. Mikhail appears. Now he can't contain himself. His target is not Yuli, but that living weapon. To prevent Yuli from getting hurt, Mikhail lures it to the top of the train and ends it. The explosion causes the train to derail and come to a halt. Then Mikhail says, "If I ever end up like him, I want you to be the one to kill me." After it is all over, they return to Ryoko's house, unaware that they are being hunted by an army of vampires. Willard advises Yuli to quit Jaeger's job, because he doesn't want Yuli to have to kill his brother. However, Yuli refuses. He will go find the Ark of Sirius. Maybe that thing could save Mikao. That evening, as usual, Willard goes to the pub to find his friend, but the tavern owner is attacked by a vampire. While dying, he says that the vampires are here. They're trying to kill Willard. Upon witnessing the death of his close friend, Willard becomes enraged and immediately kills the vampire. After Willard informs the others of this dangerous situation, they begin evacuating the occupants of the house and preparing for the coming battle. Moments later, 2 vampires burst into the house. They thought everything would be very simple, but no, the number of vampires is too large. The vampires begin to spread throughout the house. When Yuli's team is about to gather with the others, they come face to face with Kirshner, a high-ranking vampire. When Philip is about to strike, suddenly Mikao appears and attacks them. Yuli tries to help Phillips, but he's blocked by Kirshner. Despite this, Yuli reacts very quickly to get past Kirshner and successfully rescue Philip. However, it was a foolish move. Now Yuli has to fight 2 enemies at the same time. At this moment, the ground was shaken. Next, an army of the Empire appeared. It turns out that Willard has asked for help from Major Iba. With specially crafted silver bullets, the vampire army is gradually destroyed. Inside the house, Kirshner leaves. Yuli is forced to fight Mikao. However, Yuli naively assumes that Mikao is still his brother. Then Mikao also doesn't want to kill Yuli, so he leaves. Somewhere nearby, Willard appears on the roof and opposite him is Kirshner. He tries to attack Kirshner, but Kirshner is too strong. At this time, Yuli also chases, when suddenly, Kirshner laughs loudly. Once upon a time, vampires obtain a certain ancient book. It is about the Ark, and the location of the Ark is in the village of Dogville. Kirshner was the leader of the vampire army that massacred Yuli's village. To decipher that book, they had to resort to archaeologists. Willard cooperated with them. Thanks to Willard deciphering that book, the vampires were able to find out the location of the village of Dogville. Kirshner is very confident of his strength. As he is being arrogant, suddenly Yuli breaks Kirshner's sword and finishes him off. Next, Yuli intends to kill Willard, but he can't do it because Willard is Yuli's only life force. Because for the past 10 years, he considered Willard as his biological father. This video ends here. The name of this anime is written inside the description below this video. Thank you for watching my video. If you feel you like it, please click like and subscribe to support me.